You know, I haven't enjoyed going to church for a very long time. Like I enjoyed going to the church I went to on Sunday. It was actually the Seed Church in Garden City, Georgia. The pastor said something about what it would be like to leave this earth, to be caught up to go with Jesus, and realize the people that you had not testified to or even introduced to Jesus. And I thought about that, and I have not talked very much about my salvation. I think everybody knows that I love Jesus. I kind of live my life that way. But do you ever wonder how many people out there are living their lives that way and they don't know him? Because there was a time in my life when I was so low down and so steeped in sin. I mean, I didn't even know who Jesus was. I had heard about him, and I knew people who were Jesus freaks, and I didn't want to follow those people because they seemed crazy to me. And I realize now that my salvation story is unique. Everybody's is, but mine is kind of supernatural. And I've never shared it because I always was afraid people would think I was crazy or that I was weak, because I have always viewed suicide as a sign of weakness. And I was about to commit suicide the day I got saved. And I don't like to talk about it because I don't want people to think I'm crazy, but I do realize we're known by our testimony and we're supposed to share it. And until that night, I didn't realize that Jesus loved me. I mean, that was something for other people. If you knew me then, a long time ago, you would have thought that I was just some nice Christian lady. You wouldn't have known the kind of sinful nature I had or what I was like, and I wouldn't have wanted you to know that. But I was at home one night, and this is not with the husband I'm with now, just let you know that right away. But all those years ago, my kids were asleep, and my husband was asleep in bed with another woman somewhere, and I had just found that out. And I didn't want to live anymore. I thought, my kids would be better off without me because, I couldn't hold down a good job. I obviously couldn't keep a man. I didn't feel like I had any value. I had just sunk so low and had such a low self-opinion of me that I couldn't see any way out. Now, I am a sissy Mary and totally allergic to pain. So I had to find a way to do this so that I wouldn't be able to call for help. So my plan was to grab a butcher knife and just slit my throat, because then I couldn't call for help, and it would be over fast enough. Nobody could stop me. So I went and sat down in the living room, and I still remember seeing the knife sitting on the glass coffee table, and I reached over and picked it up. But before I could get it to my throat, somebody sat down next to me on my couch, and I was by myself. And I looked next to me and said, "Who's there?" And there was no answer. So I went to do it again, and I heard a voice. Now, this wasn't the kind of supernatural thing where they say you heard this in your head or God spoke inside your head or you felt something. This was an audible voice in the room with me. And what it said was, "Wait." And I was too petrified to move. My heart was in my throat because I thought someone was there and had seen me. And I was just totally embarrassed. And not just embarrassed, but afraid. And then it said, "Your husband will not find you. Your son will find you. And it will murder his spirit even unto eternity." And in that moment, I could see my son coming down the hallway that morning and finding my lifeless body. I was over it. Just immediately over it. Got up, put the knife back in the drawer, and went to bed, and got up the next day saved. I knew that Jesus loved me, and that is something nobody ever told me. I heard a lot about him. I knew Christians. I had even been to church with a couple of my friends, but nobody ever said to me, "Jesus loves you." All I ever heard was that sinners can't communicate with God because they're in sin. And I know that that's true. But I think there's also a lot about the Bible we don't understand. Because there's no doubt to me that there's no reason that anyone should have spoke to me. And I know now that it wasn't about me. They were saving my son from me. And that was a sobering moment, that his innocence overrode my sin. And Jesus loved me. Even though I was ridiculous back then, he still loved me. And he loves you too. And the only way that I can think of to reach him is to just open your heart and let him in. I mean, he's there. He's there every day. He's in everything you do, everywhere you go. There's so many people really that think, oh, God is an outside force trying to get in, but that's not true. God is in the power of creation. He is in every good thing that is in you. He's already there. You just have to open your heart to him. And if this helps, great. And if it doesn't, that's okay. I got it off my chest, and you guys may think I'm crazy, but I don't care. I guess I'm a Jesus freak. God bless you.